Thank you for joining us as we look at God's Word in John chapter 4, dedicated to a meeting between Jesus and a Samaritan woman. And it's taken some good progress here. Now she's understanding, whoa, this isn't just some dude that I'm talking to here. This is somebody, a man of God. Now remember in chapter 3 that Nicodemus said, God is with you. And Jesus said, no, Nicodemus, you need to do better than that. You need to be born again. And in order to do that, you got to receive what we've actually been saying about me, God in the flesh. And so here she is, and she thinks, well, at least he's a prophet. And notice finally, there's some respect coming from her because she calls him sir. Well, let's read the passage. The woman said to him, sir, I perceive that you're a prophet. I mean, you've never seen me before, and you've told me how many husbands that I've had and that I'm living with somebody. And she says, our fathers worshipped on this mountain, and you people, Jews, say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. In other words, we've got this dilemma, if you're a prophet, then I need to get my life right, then how do I worship? Now, the mountain she was talking about was Mount Gerizim, and Sychar was very close to Mount Gerizim. In the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy, before they went in to possess the Promised Land, Moses said that when you get in there and you've conquered, you need to put half of the tribes in front of Mount Ebal and half of the tribes in front of Mount Gerizim. On Mount Ebal, you pronounce the curses for if you disobey God, the curses that will come upon Israel if they don't do what God called them to do. On Mount Gerizim was the blessings, how God will bless you coming in and going out, and he'll bless your crops and he'll bless your offspring, the whole 9 yards. And so when the kingdom divided, the southern 2 tribes had Jerusalem, where the temple was, and they were called the Jews, because mainly the tribe of Judah, okay? The northern 10 tribes didn't have Jerusalem. They didn't have the temple. They had to have a central place of worship. And so they chose the mountain in the north where Moses had said the blessings would be called from, Mount Gerizim. And so that was the place that they chose to worship God. And so there's